Hey y'all, Alexis here, designer on Plan. So I'm going to review a few MRs and show y'all something kind of cool I learned. You might already know it. Marcel told me about it recently. So usually when I check out branches or review MRs in GitPod, I kind of go to the overall project and then I open GitPod from there. But you can actually just look at a MR and look at the branch just by clicking on, sorry, having a hard time with my mouse, this link here. So when you click into that, it opens up this, and you can see there's this drop down here with Web IDE, or you can look at it in GitPod. So that's what I did. I clicked on GitPod. Depending on how big your screen is, you might see this a little differently. So you can just click into GitPod. That's what I did. And it opened up this here, which should look familiar if you use local or local GDK or GitPod GDK. So let's go ahead and log in, see if that works. Sometimes I get the password wrong. So this is normal, as we've talked about before. It doesn't look like the password. Let me just set a new one. So it's going to ask you this seemingly every time you have a new workspace. It's not that you did anything wrong. Okay, we're testing out the sign up flow here. I'm going to pause actually. You probably don't want to watch us. All right, so now let's actually log in. And by the way, I guess I didn't go over this, but yeah, so I clicked on GitPod. It actually opens up something like this, and we've talked about this before, but it has a preview window that's not working at the moment, and it has all this stuff that should look kind of familiar to your environment. So if this happens, what I do, I usually use 3000, and you could just click this link here and they'll open it up into a new window, which probably y'all are more used to looking at anyway. So we have this, we have our MR, and I know I want to look at the sidebar in Epic Boards. So I don't believe Epic Boards should be under any kind of feature flag anymore. So I'm just going to go to any group. But I just remembered something that I want to show you. I actually shouldn't have access to epics. We'll go look just to make sure. Because this is one kind of caveat of GitPod. You kind of start fresh with every workspace. So you'll see I don't have access to epics because I don't have an ultimate, or I don't have a license that allows me access to epics at the moment. So what you have to do is go into the admin area, go into your licenses. Sorry, having some windows pop out on me. And you have to say upload new license. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pause. Okay, so I now have access to Epic, so I should, because I added my license. And yep, you can see Epics. Let's go to Epic Boards. Shouldn't be under a feature flag anymore. If you want to see how to enable feature flags, there's another video floating around out there. Let's create a list just to kind of play around with this. We don't need to, but okay. Move this one over here. All right. So we want to look at the to-do button placement, and I know that from looking at this MR. Flurry's attached some before and afters, which is great, but you know, I always like to play around with it depending on how complicated it is or how much time I have. But this looks good. We just want to tweak some of the spacing here and make sure the button wasn't too close to the header, basically. So we got some nice padding there. Cool. All right, so I think this is fine. Looks like the classes are nice. All right. So this looks good. Then I would go in and approve, tell Flurry any information or any things I wanted to change, but I think I'm fine with this iteration. We're going to keep working on the sidebar, obviously, but I'm not seeing anything super strange going on. We'll make sure that added as a to-do. Let me refresh. And that should have added a to-do, and I think it did because I didn't have one before, now I do. Cool, nice just now, awesome. So that looks good. Let's say I wanted to check out another MR, which I do actually, because I have another MR that got assigned to me. So this is around not filtering. I haven't looked at this a whole lot yet, but we want to add not filtering to the Epic roadmap. Cool. So I could, like I said, click into this and open up this branch, and this would open up GitPod. So I could go here, click on GitPod. That would actually spin up a whole new workspace, and then I would have to do what you just saw me do. I'd have to go through that sign up flow. I'd have to add a license because this is using Epic, so I'd have to add a license again so I could access them. It's like basically starting with a fresh GDK, so you're kind of having to configure everything again. So I don't really want to do that. What I would do is kind of, more familiar to the traditional or local GDK. I just figured out what this branch is, and so this is origin, which means it's in our project and everything. So you can either do this, click into the branch and kind of like search right here, which I'll do that. Usually actually what I do is, I forget which one I do it on. I think this one. I just paste everything in here like I would in local GDK because that's what I'm used to, but it's probably easier just to use the drop down. So I did that. It should have switched branches. So let's see. So I should no longer be on Flurry's branch. I should be on this one pertaining to roadmaps. It might take a second. It looks like it is taking a second, so I will pause again. So I got a bunch of gibberish, and let me give it another couple seconds, see if that helps. If it doesn't, I'll try to do a few other things. So I tried a few different things and nothing worked like it usually, usually I can get this to work, but it's not. So I don't know if it's because usually I open up GitPod from the general project, like the GitLab project, and this time I opened up from like Flurry's fork or what it could be. So let's just try opening it directly from this MR and see if that makes things any better. The problem here is we have to wait for it to load up again, so I'm going to pause. Okay, that took a little while, but I have this, see this branch open to review. So we're going to look at the roadmap. And again, so because I opened up a new workspace, I have to now upload a license again because with a new workspace, it's kind of like I said before, it starts fresh. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to click into, click into licenses and add it. I'll pause again. Okay, so to recap, we tried to just switch to this branch and we were not able, so we just opened up an entirely new workspace. And now I need to just go to a group to check out the roadmap and see if this is working. I added my license so I can see epics. Don't think there's any feature flag or anything, so that's okay. Okay, so we need an epic with a start or end date to be able to test this. Well, actually, I don't know if we need that, but I want it, so just add whatever, doesn't matter. It's just to test it out. Cool. All right, go back to roadmap. Okay, so we're in the epic roadmap. Oh, oops. Okay, so we can do not filtering on many different things now. So we can not filter for author. So it's saying show me epics where the author is not the administrator. This is always kind of hard. Hold on. Don't think this always works really well. So this isn't GitPod doing something. It's just checking these out is always kind of hard. So it's a one we just played with, and it should be the only epic with a date. Oh, so none of these were created by administrator. So let's try creating one. So this is one I've created, right? And I'm admin. And it has a start or end date, so it will show up on the roadmap. My little face is in the way. There we go. Cool. Oh. All right. Maybe it just created it anyway. Yeah, it did. Okay. I don't know. Whatever. Let's test this out. Okay, so the author is not me, so that should disappear, right? Yep, it does. Cool. So that's good. And then the label, so is not label. So let's go back to the epics. We'll put test epic and give it a label so we could filter for what, isn't this label. So AL, let's see, test for not my reaction. So I'm an administrator, so I'll give it a thumbs up too, just so we can test this out more easily. Okay, so label is not AL. We would expect that test epic to disappear. It did. Cool. Reaction is not, is not. Yeah, there's obviously fun filtery interactions we could probably change here. Thumbs up. Okay, so it disappeared, which is what I expected. Awesome. So it looks like this is working. And I don't see anything styled strangely or, ooh, wait a minute. It's kind of weird that, so filters that don't have is not just immediately inherit the is or the equals. Whereas ones that have is not don't. So that's a little weird. I don't know. We'd have to tinker on that. But I think that's more of like a maybe a larger thing to think about, just in general, that interaction, but could be a little strange. Anyway, so one thing to note, otherwise the styling and everything looks good and it's working, which is important. So that's good. So I can give feedback on that MR. And then I also have another MR by a community contributor. Sorry, I can't speak today. I need a little more coffee or sleep. I don't know. So we have this, and this is where this tip of just clicking into this individual link is really helpful. So when I just click into this link, I can like go directly to the branch, and it's on their fork. Makes it a lot easier. I was having a lot of troubles trying to even going into their fork and like switching to the branch. So just like directly going to that branch is a lot more helpful. So again, I'd open up GitPod and it would be opening up, I'd go directly to that branch that they're working on, and then I could review it from there. That was the only way I could seem to get it to work using GitPod. Local is, I've not had troubles, but this is how I've been doing it in GitPod. So hopefully that's helpful. I don't know if y'all have had any issues with this as well, but I definitely have. Anyway, thanks for watching. Maybe you found something helpful in here. Always nice to see y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.